Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gifsogu. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber currently living in Alberta, Canada. And if this is your first time watching any of my videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. I make videos about lifestyle, travel, freelancing, basically my life here in Canada, and then motivating you to get remote jobs or take your freelancing career better and thriving in your career because you're young. What are you using your young age to do if not to thrive in your career? In today's video, I feel like over the past week, I've catered to every aspect of my viewers, those that prefer moving to Canada vlogs, but those that prefer remote job videos, those that prefer vlogs, and those that actually prefer how to move and my experience, lifestyle content generally. I think that I'm doing a good job at catering to everybody, I feel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering one of the most asked questions that I've been getting in my inbox on TikTok and here on YouTube, and it's Canada or the UK. Which one do I prefer? Which one do I think is better? Which one do I think you should move? See me looking down, know that I'm reading my notes. I did like a whole list of things that we'll be comparing regarding the UK and Canada. UK and Canada, anyone that is here, and to know which one is actually better for relocation. Number one, the most important thing that people are actually scared of when it has to do with relocating is the weather. The weather. Canada is one of the coldest countries in the world. I mean, the UK is not a warm country, but it's also not one of the coldest countries in the world. Of course, the weather can be erratic, but the weather in Canada, the cold is insane. One difference, however, is the fact that when it's summer in Canada, it's summers. When it's winter in Canada, it winters. What I mean is that when it's summer, the sun shines, it's very hot and all of that. The weather is quite bright, the sun is shining so bright. When it's winter, you know it's winter. You can feel that it's winter. It's snowing, it's cold. In the UK, sometimes it's summer and then it starts raining. The weather is all gloomy and all of that. So the weather is quite depressing in the UK. But regarding weather, the UK and Canada, the UK has it better because it's not so cold. So if you're thinking of cold, oh my god, I don't like cold, I don't like a country that is too cold, I want a warm country, Canada is not the place for you. It's not the place for you to come to because it's not a warm country, it's a very cold country. So in Canada and in the UK actually won this round because the weather is a bit milder than it is in education. Now let's talk about education. So you want to do your master's and you're thinking of what country should I come to, what country is easier for me to get admission, what country would give me admission fast and I will not require a lot of documents. I would say UK. If you're looking for admission, schools in the UK, they would give you admissions quickly. Most times they're interested in your money, so they would give you admission quickly. Even if you have a 2-2, you have a third class, you would most likely get admission in the UK. Canada, on the other hand, I think they're quite strict when it has to do with getting admission for masters. If you make a 2-2, it might be quite a challenge to get an admission in a Canadian university. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm saying that it might be quite a challenge. Like I said, sharing from my experience, I did not make 2-2. I did not make 2-2. I made 2-1 and I've applied for schools in both the UK and Canada. And I would say that getting admission is easier in the UK than it is in Canada because most times, if you want to do your master's in a school in Canada, most likely have a first class or a 2-1, a high 2-1. Or a 2-1 generally. If you have 2-2, it's not impossible to do a master's in Canada. It's possible, but I'm just saying that your chances are higher in the UK than in Canada. So regarding education, it's easier to get admission into the UK schools than in Canada schools. I hope that makes sense. So now but regarding the quality of education, I don't know because I've not studied in Canada. I've only studied in the UK. So I'm not able to compare the quality of education in UK and Canada. It has to be somebody that has gone to school in the two places. And these are two beautiful countries that have high quality of education. So I cannot say that it's better in the UK regarding education or it's better in Canada. Number 3, cost of living. I think it's the same everywhere. We are going through an economic crisis in the world. Things are getting more expensive. People are almost unable to live. People cannot breathe. In the UK, things are quite expensive. But one thing that is cheap in the UK is groceries. Groceries are cheap. With £20, you can buy something really substantial. I see Nigerians doing this challenge using £5 to buy to cook, to buy things that they would use to cook. So I think that in the UK groceries are cheaper than in Canada. Groceries are quite expensive in Canada. I'm not even kidding you. Go to Walmart and come back and £100 all gone. Like on what? And then the bag is like not so what's it called, heavy. So I think that another thing something that has to play regarding this is maybe the stores that you're going to. Some stores are more expensive than the others, just like the UK. In the UK, I usually shop at Lidl, and Lidl was one of the cheap ones. I really love I miss that store with all my heart. I love Lidl so freaking much, and I really miss shopping at Lidl anyway. So I would say that groceries are cheaper in the UK than they are in Canada. But when it has to do with African food, they're the same range. Nothing is different. They're actually the same range. Groceries are cheaper in the UK than they are in Canada. Groceries are quite expensive in Canada. Yeah, so that's about that for the cost of living. I'll say the cost of living is higher in Canada. The cost of living is higher in Canada than the UK when you compare groceries. Do you understand? When you compare groceries, the cost of living is actually higher in the UK than it's higher in Canada. About homes, if you're looking for big spacious homes, you already know that the UK is not the answer to that. The homes are quite smaller, the rooms are narrower than you would get in Canada. Canadian homes are actually big, they're actually massive and large. So if it's homes, you want like a place that has like big homes, is obviously not the UK, it's Canada. Canada has better homes. But when it has to do with the cost of like these homes, let's not say buying, renting, it's actually cheaper to rent in Canada than it is to rent in the UK. But it also depends on the part of Canada. For instance, renting in Ontario, in Toronto is expensive, but just as expensive as renting in London is, just as expensive as renting in like major cities. Vancouver is extremely expensive. Oxford in the UK is expensive. Like St. Albans, renting an apartment in St. Albans is expensive. Even Luton that I was living in is quite expensive. So I would say that I'm going to put homes, like the size of the homes and the cost of these homes, as the rental cost of these homes. Homes in the UK are smaller than they are in Canada, and they are more expensive than they are in Canada. I know there are other places in the UK that are quite cheap, like maybe Middlesbrough or Newcastle and all of that. I did not live in those places. I lived close to London. I lived in Luton, so I'm talking about where I lived, and compared to here, like that I'm currently living now, rental costs are cheaper in Canada than they are in the UK, and the homes in Canada are bigger than they are in the... Now let's talk about currency. We already know that the Great British Pound is one of the highest currencies in the world, like it's actually really high, like compared to the Canadian dollars that is quite small. It's not like small though, if you convert it, British pounds is actually bigger than the Canadian dollars. So if you want to base your move on like currencies, I want to go to a country that has like a bigger currency, that's your reason for wanting to move. It's not Canada that you'd come to, because the currency is actually smaller than even the US dollars. It's smaller than euros. Meanwhile, like Great British Pounds is actually like bigger, carries more weight, and when you convert it, you get more than the Canadian dollar. So if currency is actually your thing, the reason that you want to move is because of currency, you definitely are not coming to... It's not Canada, it's the UK. So the UK wins in the weight of the currency. So that brings me to the next point, which is the salaries. The salaries for many jobs, the salaries are like the same thing. What's it called again? The minimum wage is $15 here in Alberta. Meanwhile, like the minimum wage in the UK, it's £11, I really don't know exactly how much it is. So around minimum wage, you get around the same thing. However, when it has to do with professional jobs, you get more money in Canada than in the UK. So salaries in Canada are higher for professional jobs than they are in the UK. Nursing salaries are higher, salaries for doctors are higher, salaries for project managers, those working in marketing and all of that, they're higher. Someone working an entry-level marketing role in the UK will be making less than someone working an entry-level marketing role in Canada. So the salaries in Canada, it depends on the part of Canada though. I'm talking about Alberta where I live. The salaries are higher, way higher than what's applicable in the UK. So even though the currency is lower, than the Great British Pounds. The salaries are way higher than what's applicable in the UK. So if you're looking for a place that will give you a higher salary, if it's manual jobs, they're actually like almost the same thing. However, if you're looking for a place that will give you more money and you have like a corporate career, Canada will pay you more than you'd get in the UK. Now, job opportunities. We know how the economy is right now. The job market is actually nothing to write home about or even school about. Nothing to write anywhere about. If you need more job opportunities, I would say it depends on the job opportunities that you're looking to get. If it's manual job opportunities, you'll be better off in the UK than in Canada. Why? Because for most jobs in Canada, most manual jobs in Canada, you have to do some sort of certification or training. Meanwhile, in the UK, most times they'll train you. I'm not saying that in Canada they will not train you, but you would probably have to have these certifications to work in a warehouse. You have to have a certification, maybe, I don't know, maybe like forklift or something like that to work in a warehouse. Meanwhile, in the UK, you don't have to have any experience to get like a job in the warehouse, as like a manual job. Even like working in healthcare, you can just like do shadowing, do a couple of trainings, and you're good to go. Like you do your shadowing and you're good to go. However, when it has to do with Canada, you cannot just shadow your way into like getting a care job. You'd have to take a lot of certifications, probably even go to school and spend like 10 months doing the personal support worker course. I don't really know a lot about it. I'm just telling you from the information that I've gathered before this video. You'd have to spend like maybe 10 months in school doing the personal support worker course. It's not something that you can just like, not have any experience and just like delve into. You need to have some sort of experience and a bit of education. Meanwhile, in the UK, it's not the same thing. Now, let's go to corporate career. When it has to do with corporate career, I would say that Canada is better than the UK, even though people always complain that there are no jobs in Canada, because it depends on the visa that you have in the UK. If you have like a student visa, a post-study visa, or a tier 2 visa, I would say, and you're coming to Canada, you're thinking of coming to Canada as a permanent resident, I would say that it's better to come to Canada regarding your job prospects. They are quite higher than in the UK with any of these 3 visas that I mentioned. The reason is these visas are limiting. Study visa, you're only allowed to work 20 hours. When it has to do with post-study visa, you can work as much as you want, but people will not leave citizens and people that have the ILR and hire you because they probably have to sponsor you, or the fact that your visa will soon expire. Now, when it has to do with the tier 2 visa, you're already bound to a particular employer and you're only able to do 20 hours extra, and most likely in the field that that gave you that sponsorship. I don't know if it has changed. Please correct me below if it has changed. So 20 hours will not probably give you enough time to get like professional experience and all of that because of the limitations that you have on your visa. Meanwhile, a permanent residency visa gives you access to the job market. It gives you access to even switch career if you want to switch without the the uncertainty of, oh my god, my visa is about to expire hanging over your head. So when it has to do with job opportunities, I know that these 2 countries are so beautiful and they have their own challenges, but I would say I prefer Canada when it has to do with job opportunities than the UK, just because the type of visa gives you access to thrive in your career and does not limit you. Gives you opportunity to even do like anything that you want to do when it has to do with your career instead of being stranded. That's why I also do not recommend coming here on the caregiver's visa that would give you a route to PR. When you can apply for the express entry, why exactly are you doing the caregiver's route? Why can't you apply for express entry? Because then you have to find a job that would like sponsor you and all of that, I guess. So what's the reason that you are doing that when you can actually apply for permanent residency using your previous experience? So like I said, when it has to do with job opportunities, I prefer Canada. I think Canada is better. Like it gives you more structure and stability than the UK if you are on these 3 visas. You faster route to PR, we already know the answer. The answer is Canada. Canada takes the cake here when it has to do with faster route to PR, because even if you study here and you get a post-study visa, if you apply for PR and you get it, you know that after 3 years of becoming a permanent resident, you can apply for citizenship. That's if you do not break any of the laws. Also, if you're also coming from abroad to Canada as a permanent resident, you know that in 3 years time you become a citizen. So it's faster route to PR and to citizenship. It's not the same thing in the UK. The fact that when you are done studying, you have the option of taking a post-study visa right? Or you get a sponsorship. Any of these visas that you take, it doesn't matter. If you take the post-study visa, it does not count towards your permanent residency application. If you take the tier 2 visa, which is the work visa, the sponsorship visa, you have to work for 5 years in the UK before you're eligible to apply for permanent residency, which is the ILR. So it takes time, 5 years to get permanent residency, and the other one, which is the Canada PR, you can actually get it like from wherever you are and move to Canada as a permanent resident. So like the path to PR and the pathway to citizenship in Canada is quite faster than it is in the UK. So when it has to do with, oh, what country would you recommend that has the faster pathway to citizenship, I would recommend Canada over the UK. Let's talk about stability, which is also linked to the last point that I made. If you are working in a company that is actually sponsoring your visa, it might not be that stable because like you are quite afraid. You might not be able to say your mind. You might not be able to like air your views because like you don't know how people are. Maybe if you talk to them or tell them how you feel or something or report something, you feel with the way that the market is structured right now, the job market is structured right now, it's not easy. So even getting a job, like keeping it is also another thing, and like there's massive retrenchment going on in a couple of industries. So having a job that would sponsor, you're not sure what if you get fired, what if something happens, what if you get redundant, like what if anything will happen, like do you get? So you don't have like that stability. You're not able to like plan, make big plans. Unlike when you know that your job is not tied to your visa. So if this job is not working for you, I don't recommend moving from one job to the other anyway. But if you get a job, like you have the opportunity to get another job if you want. You have the opportunity to like do a side hustle. Your stay is not tied to a visa. That is a very, very big deal if we're being honest with ourselves. The fact that you can actually like do whatever you want to do without even thinking of a visa, the fact that when you're applying for a job, you tick the part that says permanent residency / permanent resident / citizenship instead of the part that says will you now in the future require visa sponsorship. I think that's like a very good thing. It gives you stability. For me now, I know that I'm home. I'm not moving to anywhere again. Like I feel relaxed. I know that I'm home right now. So I feel that if you need a bit of stability, it depends on what stability is for you. Like what is stability for you? What do you think that stability is? If stability means having peace of mind that comes with having a document, a valid document from that particular country that is not tied to any job, then I would say Canada. If peace of mind means you getting a job that would sponsor you and stay in the country with a job that is sponsoring you, I would say the UK. So like I always say, it depends on what you want to do. And this is the problem that I usually have with some people that actually comment on my content, because everything that I say, I always say that this is my experience, my experience. I did not say this is our experience or this is the experience. I've never said that my word is gospel. So people come in on social media to like police me and my comments, like expecting policing me and anything that I want. I'm saying something and then you're like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? I'm talking about my own experience, and you cannot tell me not to share my experience that I want to share. Do you understand? So I feel that when it has to do with immigration, know what is best for you and your family. Don't because you've seen me moving, you now want to move. Make sure that it's the right decision for you and your family, or for you. Make sure that you've prayed about it, you've talked to people about it, you're convinced in your heart that it's the right decision. That's why you will not regret it, because I've not for one day regretted. Like there's no time I've just laid down in bed and I'm like, oh my god, I regret coming here. I've never had that feeling, because I was very convinced in my spirit that this is the best decision for me at this time. Like I knew that I was making the right decision. I did not make this decision because anybody wanted me to make this decision. I was convinced in my spirit to make this decision. So make sure that you feel that way, a strong conviction, so that you will not start thinking, oh, if I had known, I would have stayed back in the UK, I would have stayed back in Nigeria and all of that. I've never felt that way. Do you understand? So anything I'm saying here is about my experience and my experience alone, not our experience. It's not like a communal experience. It's how I feel, what I've experienced. That's why I mostly don't like to talk about things that I have no experience in, or something that I've not tried. Do you get? So let's talk about the people. I love British people a lot. I actually love them. I love the people that I've worked with. amazing people. However, when it has to do with people, Canadians are nicer. Like everybody knows that Canadians are nicer. I've met a lot of people. I met one Ukrainian lady that told me, oh my god, like Canadians are always saying sorry. Every small thing is like sorry. They're actually nice. You can Google it. You would know that Canadians are nicer. So it's not because I'm in Canada I'm saying that when it has to do with the people, Canadians are nice and I'm forgetting the UK. No, Canadians are actually really nicer. They're the nicer ones. They're really nice. And like I said it in my culture shock video, like I was quite shocked at the level of niceness that I actually received from Canadians, or I've been receiving from Canadians. So yeah, if you're looking for maybe a place that has like nicer people or something, Canada has nicer people. Like Canadians are literally nicer. So which one do I prefer? When it has to do with the people, I love Brits. I think they're amazing. Their sense of humor is top notch. The humor is, I think they're like people that have matched my sense of humor. Like, you know, when I'm cracking them up, they're laughing. Like they actually have like a good sense of humor, and they're able to match my humor. Do you get? Because I think I'm funny. I know I'm delusional. It's giving the Lulu here, but I think I'm funny, and British people have been able to match my sense of humor. Like when you have conversations with them, you're laughing your ass off. Anyway, when it has to do with nicer people, if you're looking for niceness, now let's talk about the best place. Like, what place do you think is better for your kids? Raising your children in the United Kingdom and raising your children in Canada, it's actually not the same thing. The experience is not the same thing. If you ask me when it has to do with, what do you think is the best place for the kids, I would say, what is your visa status? So if your visa status is permanent residence in Canada, or if you're looking to, if you have to choose between permanent residence in Canada and a student visa in the UK, or permanent residence in Canada and a work visa in the UK, and you're looking for, or you have these two things and you're looking for the best place for your children, I would say Canada. I would say Canada. Honestly, raising your children in the UK is amazing. It's amazing. The British school system is amazing. They're not ignorant. Like, they know their geography. I said not ignorant because like there are some people that you'd ask about things and they don't really know anything apart from their country. Do you get? But British kids, they actually know a lot of things. They're not ignorant. They're not ignorant. Do you understand? So like raising your children in the UK is amazing. However, I feel that because of the stability attached with being a permanent resident, if you're not a permanent resident in the UK and you have permanent residence in Canada, or you're trying to pursue it, I would say that Canada is a better place to like raise children. I stand corrected because I don't have any child at the moment, but I'm just saying from my friends' experiences and, you know, like interaction with other people, that yeah, this is what I act. The next one is access to other parts of the world. If you're looking for access to travel around Europe, cheap flights and all of that, that's one thing you're considering when you want to move to a particular country. It's not Canada, it's the UK. The UK gives you access to parts of the world, like loads of parts of the world. You have cheap flights, so I think I paid £19 or something, like a return flight from Luton to Prague. Yeah, from Luton to Prague, I think as cheap as £19 to travel. Meanwhile, traveling within Canada is so expensive. Flights from Alberta, that Calgary, Edmonton to Toronto is so expensive. Flights within Canada are just so expensive. And even though you have access to other parts of the world, especially in Mexico and some Caribbean countries, it's still like really expensive to travel within Canada. So if you are basing your choice on like the opportunity to travel around the world on a budget, I would say that UK is your best bet and not Canada. Okay, the last one that I'm going to talk about here is family. Which of the countries are actually embrace family more? If you want like a place that's good for your family, that you can also like invite your family to come to, I would say Canada. Because they have immigration pathways where you can even get points from your siblings. Provinces like Manitoba, like Saskatchewan, like Alberta, you get points for having siblings in the province. Manitoba, you get points for having close relatives. So they have like a particular, their PMP, that's their provincial nomination program. You get points for having close family members or siblings. In Alberta, I don't know if they still do that siblings draw, which is like the close relative draw that they were doing last year. When your siblings are here, you get points for having siblings here. Even New Brunswick has that immigration pathway, family connection. If you have a family member like in New Brunswick, I think you get some points for your provincial nomination, and Saskatchewan, so they do the family like draws. Do you understand? So they give you points for families, for having a family in Saskatchewan. Now, even with the general and federal skilled workers, with the general permanent residency application, if you have a sibling in Canada, you get extra 15 points for having a sibling. So I would say when it has to do with family, like Canada is making like an effort to like reunite families, in the sense that if you have like a family connection to a particular province and all of that, you can even get like a notification of interest because of the link that you have with your siblings, and also getting extra points to boost up your score in the pool because you have siblings. So I'll say that Canada for me, when it has to do with family, reuniting family, because like they're really passionate about like families and all of that. The UK, I don't know if they have like such immigration programs where you can actually get points. I don't think they have like that kind of immigration program where you can get points to maybe move to the UK when your siblings are here or something. They have to also apply for like a job and all of that. So these are my experiences, my thoughts. Please, I'm begging you. I know that YouTube, they're quite nicer than they are on TikTok, but I'm begging you in the name of God, these are my thoughts, these are my experiences, and my experiences alone. I'm not trying to force them down your throat. I'm trying to explain that these are my experiences. Do you understand? These are what I have experienced here, and this is like I did the pros and the cons of these countries. I actually love the UK. I have a whole TikTok video where I talked about what I love about the UK, what I love and miss about the UK after moving to Canada. And I in that video I explained like everything that I was going to miss, what I love about the UK. The food, oh my god, the food. I love British food because I'm a big fan of potatoes. I love British food. I talked about the culture, I talked about the access to other parts of the world, I talked about a lot of things. So yeah, I'm really talking about this thing again because I know that some people are angry. So when they see a post, they just like rush there and they're like, typing whatever it is that they want to type, which I mean, like, whatever makes you happy or not, like, I don't care. But I'm just trying to say, like, before you comment, like, leave negative comment on somebody's post, think about the fact that they're sharing their experience, not your experience. Okay, it's their experience that they're sharing, what they've experienced and all of that, and it's valid. Do you get? Anyway, thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you want to talk to me about my experience, if you don't leave it in the comment section and you want to talk to me, I'm going to leave my calendar in the comment section, so you can click on it and then reach out to me, schedule a call to talk to me, because I'm quite busy. And like I said, I do have a lot of messages on TikTok, a lot of emails to respond to, and then there's also work and freelancing that I also do. So my hands are quite full. Do you understand? So if you want to talk to me, make out time to talk to me. You want me to make out time to also talk to you, please like click on the link in the comment section and schedule time to speak to me. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching this video. What do you think, Canada or the UK? Which one wins for you? Which one are you really interested in? Where are you now? Where are you watching from? And where exactly do you think that you'd like to move to if you're not in any of these two countries? I would like to know. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on TikTok at Gift to Go. Till I come here again next time, be really nice to your neighbors, and bye.